Very long. Yeah, it's okay.
Fauzia, thank you so much, Fauzia, for joining.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Hi.
Hello.
Good to see
Hi,
both
how
of
are
you.
you?
Good
Hey
thing.
Faz.
Hello.
Hey
Hi, Ollie.
Claudia. Hey Amleta.
Hi, Fauzia.
Hi.
There we go. We also have Vishal. Hello, Vishal. Hi, Hari. Wow. Hello,
Hi,
hello, Shweta.
hello.
Look at that. We have a 6-year-old going to learn property investment with us. How exciting.
Starting them young.
I think that's the right
Hi.
age to start property investment. So you don't regret later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our job is to make sure we learn it and pass it on to the next generation.
That's it. We have Aaron. Hello, Aaron. Are you also with Remya today?
Yes, I am. We are having lunch, dinner, sorry. We
Uh,
can't
that-
turn on the camera.
we are okay as long as you guys don't mind sharing what you're eating today.
Yeah.
Jitin, hello Jitin. Thanks for joining. We will give probably another minute, 1 minute before we kick off.
Yeah.
So that, yes, we would like to see everyone following from the start. Thank you, Bismi, for joining. Appreciate that.
Good evening, everyone.
Fresh cut. Yeah, the fresh cut.
Oh, sorry?
Rakesh, you had a
I had a fresh cut, and
looks
uh,
good.
I had to settle with a barber shop right next to my home. Otherwise, I would have visited one of
No,
your
no,
one of
no.
your
Don't
friends.
worry. Don't worry. No.
I
Just
You
kidding.
wonder,
can see you look sharp.
Amleto, I wonder how you did not recognize my haircut.
I
And I had a haircut too.
Wow,
know.
that's
I
visible.
know.
Nice haircut,
Beautiful.
Ranna.
Now I can see a little bit better. Yes, I can see.
Hello, George. Thank you for dialing in.
Hi, this is Letty here. Sorry, he had
Hello, Letty.
fresh
Yes.
out, and I am sorry for coming in late.
No, that's all right. You're
It's
spot
around,
on, right
and
on time.
yeah, it's a bit busy. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Maybe better to keep myself on mute and
Just feel free. We would like to see all the faces, happy, smiling faces, and would like to keep this session as engaging as possible. It's already 7:02. I would not delay further. Probably I'll just kick it off. Just give me a moment, so I'll just share my screen and let's start this. Let me know once you're able to see my screen. I'm just sharing this. There you go.
Super.
Yeah? Perfect. So let's kick this off, and I would be recording the session just so that we can share this with those participants who have not been able to come because of uh, post recording. Okay, it's already recording. That's great. Looks like there was a setting which started recording as we started. Beautiful. So just to give a context, right, and just to set the foundations, right, what we would like to achieve out of this entire session, we spending time together, is giving each of you enough confidence and clarity in terms of buying an investment property, so that you can even start thinking about buying an investment property all by yourself, and having that clear clarity or the roadmap in front of you. So we would be following that top 1% property investor blueprint. And not to confuse by the name, this is when we say 1% property investor blueprint, it's all about, there are few investors who have accumulated more than 5 6 properties in a shorter period in time, in less than 10 years time. And this is from our understanding of talking to these investors, studying a lot of courses, and also from our experience of buying investment properties ourselves and helping clients in the journey. And that's the blueprint that we would be sharing with each of you in this journey, right? And in this workshop, the focus is purely on laying the foundations, how each of you can set your personal investment strategy and understand that end-to-end process. That's the agenda. And there are three businesses who are representing this entire workshop: Coastline Assets, Affluent, Financials, and Planet Wealth, which we will get into while we introduce each of them. Now, quickly on to some of the reminders, or some house rules that if we all can follow. One is, please stay on mute unless we all ask questions and all of the stuff, so that we can be as clear as we can. Turn on your cameras wherever you are driving, you're having your dinner, we don't mind. We would like to see all the faces. Turn on the cameras and show, it really encourages us, and we can all have fun. The property or finance doesn't have to be boring for next 1.5 hours. We all can have fun. Any questions or anything that you feel about sharing, utilize the chat room message, or if you have any questions, raise that in the message, or there will be frequent polls that would run in the chat room. Encourage you to participate in those polls, so that you really get what we try to share with each of you. Last thing, not all the questions, you might have a lot of questions during the next 1.5 hours, but we may not be able to cover each of them because of time restrictions. But we will also share a Facebook group with you, so that you can raise those questions, and we will have that continued support in your investment journey. Short agenda. So we will we will introduce whom we are and what we do, and we will anchor onto your goal, right? Before you start your investment journey, the key focus is defining your own goal. We will explain what the 1% blueprint is. We will help you set up your personal investment strategy over the limited time, how much ever extent that is possible for us. And lastly, we will expand into how you can fast track this journey and what are the next steps that you can take in this investment journey. These are three amazing people that you would meet and hear from today. Myself, I'm a buyer's advocate. I'm a director of Coastline Assets. Shri, you will hear from him soon. He's a mortgage broker. If you haven't met him, you should definitely meet him. He's a person or a people's person. A lot of energy, and I have learned a lot from him over the last couple of months I met him. And he is a mortgage broker with Affluence Financial. Ali Mohammed, you will hear from him soon as well. He's a financial planner. He is an amazing person with a great story. He has a story that he has built over a long period in time. You will hear from him soon. Quickly, Ali, I'll let you introduce yourself and share your story with them.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Ali Muhammad, and welcome for taking time out to be part of this workshop. The idea is to get together and help people around us. That's the idea, and I have been working and helping everyday Australians for about 16 years, and I have quite a bit of experience in financial advice and advising people in SMSF and buying property through SMSF. And in my previous life, I've been like an aeronautical engineer with Indian Air Force and moved here. And I've been a migrant myself, and I live with my wife and my twins who are 23. And my job is to make your life easier. And I wanted to sit with people and make sure you build a legacy in this country. I wanted to make sure you set your goals, and whatever you do in process of decision making and your money, I wanted to make sure that is all towards building an asset for you, building a legacy for you by the time you turn 60 or 65. And I'll probably talk a little bit more further. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ali. Great to hear from you. And over to you, Shri. You're on mute.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for having me on this platform. Rakesh and Ali, thank you so much for having me. Guys, the main idea is all about to educate each and everyone on this platform and share, learn, and grow together in the quest of having financial freedom with your properties, with any other sources of investments in your future. So I am Shri, owner and director of Affluence Financials. I've been a finance broker for about less than a decade and an ex-banker in CBI and ANZ for about 10 years. So would love to help with that experience to create an amazing wealth strategy with all of you. With the help of Ali, we also get to know, other than properties, how else we can be able to invest and make sure that we are aligned to our vision and goals in achieving that financial independence. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Shri. And there's a message from Hid to increase the volume. Hid, just confirming you are still able to hear us well. I can't hear you yet, but I'm just moving. Perfect. And lastly, about myself, my journey has been, interesting, especially in the real estate investment space. I'm a buyer's advocate, and my interest to this entire real estate investments in Australia started after migrating to this country 4 years back. I purchased a principal place of residence after 8 or 9 months into this country, hearing from or taking opinions from my friends or the close network that I was interacting with. I spent more than 70 to 80% of the deposits that we had saved throughout their life. But we are happy in buying that. We are happy with the house that we bought. We were happy with the location that we purchased in. But from a financial standpoint, I had to really think that if I could have done anything better. And that really motivated me to study and learn more about the real estate investments. And then I did not stop over the last 2 years. I did multiple property courses. I worked with different buyers agents who were in the market. I have interacted with a lot of property investors who have succeeded in real estate investments, and then that's all translated into me starting my own personal investment journey and starting to help others in this investment space. I've been running my buyers agency over almost close to a year, and purchased 18 properties with more than $10 million transactions over the last 1 year across families. The greatness is not about the number or the transactions. The greatness is about the help or the value that we could do for the clients who have believed in us, and the wealth that we could help them achieve through real estate investments. Perfect. And then quickly into a quick poll that if we could all participate in, and this is only to just level up the playing field, because I'm not sure how many, we are probably more than 15 or 20 people on this room, just to understand where we all are. And I would assume we all are in different phases in our journey. So I'm going to just quickly launch a poll where you could just provide this input. I thought it was easy to launch a poll. Yes, I can see this. Can you all see that on your screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go.
Yes.
Beautiful. Go for it. Amazing. Love it. Wow. And can you also see the results? I mean, the distribution?
No.
You can't, right?
No.
So in summary, we have a very equal distribution in terms of 29% who are just starting. 5 out of us are just starting. 4 of them have a owner occupier and they're looking to invest. 5 of them are they have one investment property, and 3 owns more than 2 properties. So a fair distribution across the options, which is a great, interesting audience to have this discussion going forward. Love it. Now, moving on to the next one. Let's take a step back. When we get into the investment property side of things, our mind always rush in terms of what next, what to buy, and where to buy, all those sort of stuff, right? If you can just take a step back, and probably we find solutions when we are really contented, or when we slow down. What is the goal, right? Why do you want to buy an investment property? Why do you want to even get into buying investment properties? Right? And do we have a clear picture why we do it? It shouldn't be just because someone else is buying it, or it's just because you are in Australia and then everyone buys investment properties in Australia, so we also buy. If we keep everything aside, do we have a clear goal why we need an investment property? I'll just leave this a 20-30 seconds break. If you have a pen or a paper, I would really encourage to write it down. If anyone wants to just share it, come out and then share. If you have a clear goal, please feel free. So, yeah, this is something, this was me trying to summarize my personalized goal, right? Building a future-proof portfolio to achieve financial freedom and to create wealth that ultimately outpaces inflation, right? And what's the goal that you see in front of you? Anyone wants to share? Sri, do you have any thoughts to share?
Well, I think to start with, to create wealth, investments, long-term journey is always the best thought process. Brick and mortar always does well, and land always does well, land development. So people are always attached to buy properties, buy lands, so that they are with you for a long term, and they appreciate in value. And we know that lands appreciate in value, and that creates a strategy for our retirements or for our financial freedom.
Love it. Any other take? Happy to take one more response if you want it. Otherwise, feel free. Keep going in the chat. I can see Gagan has shared something. Anyone else sharing anything?
I can go, Rakesh.
Beautiful.
Don't laugh at me, okay?
Go for it.
Because I think that's what I grew up seeing my parents buying the property. So, I learned from there. That's one reason, the main reason. The second one, I agree with Sridhar. He said building the wealth and getting the equity from the properties. And what I believed was having a property or investment like lands that will give you wealth down the track rather than buying a car or something like branded things. So that is what my thought was.
Love it, Ramya. Love to hear from you, and more comments in the chat box. Little financial freedom and something to invest for my kids. That's exactly, there are different goals, and everyone's situation or everyone's personal life is different. We are not comparing against each other. We need to know why we are doing it. As simple as that. Right now, just to define at a high level, right? I'm a firm believer that in this country, and if we all are passionate about real estate investment, we should invest in properties. And there are multiple reasons to it. One is, see, most of us, we have been brought up with a mindset to save money rather than building money, right? So, but most people save slowly, and then what happens is the property market will just run ahead, right? Property market is not going to wait for you, right? We have to just get into it and grow with it. The top 1% investors. So when I say top 1%, I'm talking about the top cream who has really built wealth through real estate investments. They know how to leverage it strategically, and they know how to beat the market. Median property prices has always outpaced the average savings in this country over the last few decades. Now, real estate investment is also not a get rich quick scheme. You invest and next day you become wealthy. It's going to be a long-term game. There will be compromises. There has to be, you have to go through that drive by yourself and enjoy the drive to reach the final destination. And it's all about building that future-proof portfolio. I would invite Sri, I would really, really like to hear from you as well, your thoughts about why should we all invest in real estate?
The reason behind that is you attach yourself to a long-term journey. It's not an overnight. Rome hasn't been built overnight, right? So what we do is we expect everyone to make sure that they are investing in the right areas, and that is growing the land or appreciating where you put the money in and let it grow. And by the time you want to retire, as Ali was advising earlier, that he looks after the people who wanted to have that financial freedom before their retirement or at the time of retirement so that they can have enough funds to live on after that. And properties are the best possible way where you can multiply them. As a biocertificate, you would know that obviously how to multiply that. And yeah, people can be guided in the right way.
Beautiful. Let's talk about the multiplication through a quick exercise. Right, I'm just gonna remove this screen sharing. So what I want you to do is, like all of us on the screen, and probably you can just respond on the chat box just to keep this more interacting and going. You can see 4 properties, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is exactly the way that any investor, when they start their investment journey, this is exactly how you see it. 4 properties, no difference. It might be in different locations. It might be in different different categories, whether it's a unit or a townhouse or a house. Pick your property and just assume that let's make an assumption that the property that you're going to pick is for holding it for next 10 years, right? And what I want to do is I'll be sliding this black box to the right, and you will keep seeing more and more clarity to that investment property, and your decision gets much more accurate. So if I ask you to pick between 1 to 4, I would assume it's a tough call, right? All 4 of them look same. What if I unveil that the property purchases price are in this range? Property number 1, you will get it for 600K. The other one is 700K, 500K, 900K. I agree. The property purchase is purely dependent on the budget and the borrowing that you have. But I'm just keeping it loud and open here. Just go in the chat box and see which property will you pick. George will pick 3, 500K. Beautiful. Krishna will also pick 3. So I think in summary, we all 4, 2, not enough info. Beautiful, 600K. So we have a variety of options right now. What if I also say that these 4 properties, the first year capital growth would be in this range. Property number 1, you will get a 10% growth. You will make $60,000 equity from property. You make 140K from property number 2, 50K from property 3, and 45K from property 4. Which one would you know? Which one will you pick now? I don't 2. Right now I can. Sridhar would go for 4. Wow, amazing. I think we still have few. We still are debating with couple of options on the table. What if I also say that if you hold this property for next 10 years, this would be your annual holding cost. On an average, you will end up spending this much amount of dollars to hold this property. Your negative cash flow and whatever maintenance cost and all of that stuff. So you end up spending 5K, 30K for property 2, nothing for property 3, and property 4. Because in the previous exercise, I think most of them were inclined towards property 2 because of the 140K equity. Right now, with the holding cost, has your opinion changed? See, now I can see more people getting inclined to property number 3 because you have 50K equity and you don't have to spend anything to hold the property. Looks like a relatively easier choice. And the last one, right? What if I say that for the next 10 years, this is the capital growth that each of these properties would give? An 8% capital growth for property one, which means at the end of 10 years, you make $700,000 extra over 600K, right? 440K, 172K, and 566K. Is that now making sense? Now, will you compromise on a 700K capital growth, right? Now, if I slide it towards the right, this is, will you compromise on a 700K capital growth for any of these things? Like, does any of these things looks much, the 50K annual growth, or not having to spend anything or anything from your pocket? So the real wealth building happens here, which is the long-term capital growth, right? I mean, that is exactly what I'm trying to bring in from this discussion. So this this is exactly one of the important reason why most of the people would be investing, right? So the long-term capital growth. But there would be lifestyle situations where you don't have enough money to even hold it, so you end up making some compromises. But there shouldn't be a big compromise on capital growth, and you need a mix of all of these things. Does that make sense? No info on yield to make the decision. So when I say annual holding cost, this is incorporating the yield and all of those things. Whatever the yield is, whatever your mortgage, the borrowing capacity is, and whatever money you have to spend from for a maintenance perspective, this is all that you need to spend from your pocket. Is there any question that has to be, if you have any top pressing question, happy to answer at this stage before we move forward. If there is nothing, and now just to summarize the exercise, what we did, we are defining a strategic investment property which makes which has to be prioritized for someone who is buying and holding it for a long term. What is a strategic investment property? Something that gives long term growth, something that also gives short term growth, right? Something that gives you an equity leverage, which helps you to buy your next investment property within a 12-month period. You need to have a low entry requirement, that you don't have to spend a lot of money from your pocket or from your savings to enter. You should be able to start with 100 or a 120K minimal deposit requirements, which is often found from the equity from your owner occupier. And low maintenance or minimum holding cost. Whatever the cash flow is, whatever the negative cash flow is, it has to be as minimal so that it's not going to compromise the lifestyle that you're living in. At the end of the day, we should all be able to sleep peacefully, right? We shouldn't be worried about spending that $10,000, $20,000 on a mortgage on your investment property and then worrying about how to identify that funds, right? We need to live our life, and at the same time hold this investment property as long as we can based on the strategy that we have. This is a list of, these are all the investment properties that I had purchased for myself and my clients in 2025, and these are from different locations. And we don't have to look into the properties. My point is, we don't have to look into the properties at all, right? Forget about how flashy or how non-flashy the property is. But if you look into some of the things, we will see something which is very, very common. If you look into the specs, most of the properties will have as I said, a 400 or a 500 square meter land size. And if it is in yep.
Rakesh, can you maximize the screen?
Oh, yeah. How are you
Yeah.
able to see it? Yeah, has it come up? Perfect. Right. I mean, what I want you to focus is look into the similarities of of these different components. If you look into the specs, most of the land sizes are 500 or 600 plus. If it was metro, 500 square meter, and if it is a regional town, 600 or 700 plus square meter, right? Land is the one that appreciates in value. We should be investing our money on land, right? And again, not getting into the details of discussion about different different investment types, but I'm very much focusing on to the fundamentals, right? Uh, Land is what appreciates. And if you look into the age of the property, you would see anywhere between a 10-year-old to 20-year-old properties. That would have been majority of them. And that exactly gives maximum value because the building value would have depreciated and most of the money would go into your land. The land to value asset ratio would be in that 60 to 70%, right? So your money is being invested onto something that is always growing. If you look into the purchase price, you will always see that purchase price between maybe 450 to 700K would always be that purchase point. Coming back to my affordability, right? That's exactly where the affordable entry point is. You don't have to go and buy a 1 million or a $1.5 million home because the affordability of Australia doesn't allow to grow that, grow that investment at this point in time. Coming on to the rent or the rental yield, right? You would see anywhere between 4.5 to 5.5% yield, which is optimum, so that your capital growth is also not capitalized. Yes, you can find something with an 8% rental yield, but when you chase cash flow, you would be compromising on something else. Look into the annual holding cost. Always, something between roughly about 10,000 or under 10,000 is what you need to spend annually to hold these properties. That's less than $1,000 from your pocket in a month, right? And look into the capital, the 1 year capital growth and the 10-year capital. You will always see a range. And the reason why I'm showing this is I want to give a realistic expectations to the people. So if you're chasing a 30% capital growth in first year, right? I probably there are a few areas which would grow into that extent, right? But you would rather want to be chasing something which is a benchmark, which is just above what the national average is. You do not want to be, probably very greedy and then chasing the top mark, because when you chase something on the top, in the following years, it would settle down. It would take a downward curve in some point in time, right? We would want to be just above the average and then stay there for long term. So that's exactly how the 10-year capital growth projections have also been. All the locations that we buy would grow above the national average, which has been 6 to 7% in Australian market. Before getting into this, the blueprint, I'll just take a pause. Shri, if from this, from the discussions we have had so far, is there anything that you want to add before we move into, the actual blueprint and how to do things?
Thank you very much. I really like it, Rakesh, how you are comparing. I just put that in the chat section as well. The main focus is individual focus rather than seeing others what they are doing. We need to understand where we are currently and then focus on what our vision and goals of your financial independence going to be in the next 5 to 10 years or 15 years, whatever the tenure you have before you retire. So that's exactly what the focus should be, and then build on that rather than, as you mentioned, 1.2, 1.3 million I wanted to buy and I wanted to let it grow, which doesn't allow much as per the holding costs or as per the loan or the longevity of it. You need to hold on to that for a long time as well to grow. So it's much better to have that self-education where we are currently and then take it forward from there. It's fantastic. Great to see the charts. Keep on going, Rakesh.
Great, thank you. We'll now get into the blueprint or a structure which you can probably note it down, or a process which you can really follow as part of your roadmap. And again, the blueprint is not a compass. I'm sorry, a blueprint is only a compass, and it's not your cage, right? And it guides you in the journey, but how you go through this process is up to you to navigate. Now, in summary, this is what the 1% property investor blueprint is, right? And we, in this workshop today, we are focusing on the step number 1, which is purely around setting up your property portfolio goals and investment strategy. Don't think about the location, don't think about the property, don't think about how you're going to deal with the real estate agent or the property managers and all those kind of the transactional things. Take a step back, think for yourself, right? So that's exactly what this focus of today's discussion is going to be: setting up your property portfolio goals. And in the subsequent workshops, this is going to be a series of 6 workshops. And in the next workshop, we'll go through the rest of the process, which is, second one would be, how now you have an investment strategy. Now, how will you now find a suburb which really matches with what your strategy is, and which also gives you the growth as well as the cash flow that you are chasing. And in step number 3, you would want to build your A team, because see, this journey is not, you are not going to be in this journey alone. You need trusted professionals in your journey, and it could be from all different verticals within the real estate space. You need a great conveyancer to work with. You need a great property manager for all the rental and the property management side of things. You need a great build and pest inspector. You also need insurance broker. You need financial planner. You need mortgage broker. You need accountants. You would need a lot of service partners in your team to set you up for success in your investment journey. So in the workshop number 3, we'll focus that. And fourth step is more around, now you have identified your suburb. You have also identified your team. How will you now pick an A-grade investment property from that suburb? What kind of due diligence can you do? Now, I showed you about 13 properties in the list. To identify those 13 properties, we had evaluated about 250 properties to select these 13 properties. And I'm not exaggerating this number. 250 plus properties we had to go through, do due diligence, and we reject 80-90% of the properties. There would be some or the other red flag which will motivate us to reject. Could be a bushfire or a flood, or being on the highway, or just having an electric post in front of it, whatever the reason is, right? So there are a lot of due diligence factors that we can consider to ensure that you're picking up the right investment property that's going to enhance the property portfolio that you're building. And that's what we will learn in on the step 4. And the step 5 is, okay, now you have selected the property. How can you negotiate? What are the seller motivations? We have few real estate agents on the call. See, Mark is on the call, right? So what kind of trick that a selling agent would play? And I mean, just to be respectful, we need to understand the seller motivation. When a real estate agent is presenting this property, their job is to present this property and sell the property, right? I mean, they have to sell the property. And now, from the communication, how will you build a relationship with the selling agent, right? And what are those XYZ terms and conditions that we could really fine tune to ensure that the selling agent is motivated to work with you, as well as the seller is motivated to work with you. So, and that negotiation is a different topic in itself. And lastly, how will you set up this entire property portfolio for set it up for performance, and how will you improve the performance of the property so that you can build equity from this property and be ready for your next investment property, right? So this is in summary. Again, I'll take a pause. anyone wants to add anything, mainly Sri, and in terms of the initiative and the value that we would want to provide to the team that we have. So Sri, you want to add anything, or otherwise I'll keep moving.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Keep
Beautiful.
going. Yeah.
So now coming on to the main side of things, right? So we are here focusing on the investment or the property portfolio goals. How can you set up your property portfolio goals and investment strategy? We are explaining it in 5 simple steps. And I personally, I highly recommend that you work with a mortgage broker, financial planner, buyer's agent to get a holistic view of all of these things, because the people are here, the experienced people are here for a reason. But still, there is still a lot of things anyone can do by themselves before even taking a service provider support, and that's exactly what we are going to detail in this video, right? Before even I get into the steps, I'll give a spotlight on Ali. He is someone who has, I couldn't find a better person who could really set the mindset of people from when it comes to the investment strategy and things. Over to you, Ali.
Hi, thanks, Rakesh. That was beautifully explained. I think it's a lot of information for people to go through in one go. So you probably have set it up as like a 6 separate webinars for people to understand it and take them through the journey of how you can actually acquire more property for achieving their financial goals. And I'll go a little bit about myself. And I came here in 2004 with my wife and my twins. And um, I'm not like I studied in a regional language in India, and then I'm not very familiar with English, and I had my own set of problems when I came here, and um, just come over and I couldn't get my job in aeronautical engineering because they wouldn't recognize my qualification, so I had to work and retire. So, and then I started thinking about what I'm going to do. The reason I came here is to make sure I set up my children. And for myself, there was no goal. And I've been prepared to become a cabbie when I came here because that's what I was told I was good at, nothing else. So it was not an easy thing to agree to, but then I thought, okay, my children are more important to me than anything else. And I came here and then I realized there are people in 60s and 70s and 80s still going to uni. So I thought, okay, I have still a lot of time left in me. So I started working in retail a little bit. And then fortunately, I approached a financial advisor, and this guy actually helped me to provide some sort of a solution. And then he also pushed me to become a financial advisor. Long story short, it's 16 years now. I'm kind of okay, and I look after a lot of people. And then the aim is like to make sure everyday Australians and people like me who are migrants to this country realize why they are here for, and why you actually do all these sacrifices to come and settle down in this beautiful country, and what will make you happy when you retire. What, let it be at 55 or 60 or 65. I want you to look back and say, okay, I sacrificed so much giving up on my parents, my siblings, and my friends, my community, and giving up on my nationality once I get my permanent residency or citizenship here. I'm really proud that I have come here and achieved something. Don't do it for somebody else, do it for yourself. And what I say is, like, when you turn 65, I want you to look back and say that, okay, I come here, I achieved something. I made sure I'm proud of myself, and I'm like a role model for my children or my family or people around me. That's what I want you to feel. But to be able to do that, the first thing you wanted to do is like you wanted to do minimum guarantee stuff in your life. So whatever stage you are in, by the time you turn 65, I'll say financial advice for me is the first thing is make sure you spend less than what you make. Okay. And then you Google it, and there is a minimum percentage of money you have to save, be it 10% or 20%, set up a goal. And if you're a self-employed person, make sure 20% is for taxmen, then 10% is for your saving, rest of the money is for you to manage the business. So and I will also tell you there are three things which are really important for you to look at. At whatever age you are, you make sure you protect your family and you protect your lifestyle. That is nothing but having some sort of an insurance in place. Go sit with a financial advisor and make sure you're covered fully, because every day from the day you come into this country, your lifestyle is keep going up. At whatever stage you are, you make sure you protect your lifestyle. So if something were to happen, or if you go out and if you don't come back home, you make sure your family is protected and your lifestyle is protected till you're 65. The other thing you have to do is make sure you buy a house and you pay it off. There are different ways of paying off your house, but remember, every time you buy a house or you refinance your house, you have to take at least 30 years to pay it off. And make sure that 30 years is before the age of your 65, you turning 65. And the third thing you have to make sure is you have enough money to survive or maintain the lifestyle from the age 65 to 85. So these three things are must. When you wanted to sit, when you turn 65 and look back and say that, okay, I have done something, you have to do these three things bare minimum. Then you decide, take a pen and paper and say, what are the other things you want? But if you wanted to put few things on the paper, it's very difficult. So the best way to do it is take your income in today's dollars, take a pen and paper and say, I need, apart from these three things which Ali already mentioned, what else I need so that I can stop going to work from tomorrow. So it can be 10 things or 20 things or 100 things. That list is what you need as of today if you don't want to go to work tomorrow. But we all know that we will get up in the morning, go to work. So that list is for you to prepare or have a goal for yourself when you turn 65. And these goals can be changed every year. And it also depends on how much income you are on and your situation. So you better sit with somebody who can help you guide through that. So if you know what your goal is, at least you know what direction you have to go. Then how much your risk you need to take and how much income, assets, okay, what is your expenses, what are your liabilities, how much risk you can take. Can you put all your money in cryptocurrency and sleep peacefully, or is the property is the best way for you to go ahead? So you need to look at all this and say that, okay, I wanted to be achieving what I want, and then you have to balance it as well. Money doesn't simply give you happiness, it gives you choices. So what you need to look at is what else is important. My physical health is important. My mental health is important. Okay. If you have no mental health, and you have to make sure your family is, you're giving enough time for your family too. So if you have all these four things together, then probably you'll be achieving what you wanted to in your life. Balancing all these things is very important too. So I think that's where I will stop. I just wanted to say, as part of this journey, you sit with somebody, make sure you have goals in place, how you wanted to go with positive mindset, looking after the family, keep making sure you're physically, mentally fit, and then go to somebody who can organize a good loan for you in terms of investing in property. Okay, then they will do the research on going through different banks based on your requirement, based on your goals, get the best loan possible. Once you have the loan ready, you know that you have made a decision to invest in property. Then you go to a buyer's agent. The buyer's agent will actually help you achieve your goal or look for a property based on your situation. Are you buying it for capital growth? Are you buying it so that you can enjoy the life? Are you buying it because you wanted yield in your retirement? So that makes a property buying experience a really good one for you. I can also help you with, like, if you wanted to buy a property through super. Okay. SMSF is like a really good vehicle, but you have to make sure you have enough time, you are on a good income to contribute into the super, and then you have enough time to for the property to grow in value. Okay, or it will give you capital growth. So various things. There's too much to talk, but I'll stop here. I'll let Rakesh take over from here. Thank you, Rakesh.
Loved it, Ali. Thank you so much. Really inspirational. Ali is talking about creating a legacy, or creating the wealth with whatever life that we are left with. And I totally agree. Real estate investment is still optional, right? I mean, it's all personal preferences, but I don't think having a financial goal, a personal financial goal, or a personal financial strategy, that's probably number one. And the investment property has to be just a subset of your higher personal finance strategy. And if any of you are listening, if you haven't ever worked with a financial planner, or haven't initiated the discussion, I highly encourage book in a time with Ali, and spend some time with him and see how all of these things can be really worked out, right? You really have a long term personal financial plan, so the roadmap of building your personal wealth. Thank you, Ali, for that.
Thank
uh,
you.
Quickly moving ahead, and so just in summary, I'm sure, just to take a pause, we have a lot of people on the call in different, we all are in different phases. How are you enjoying it? Is there anyone who want to share, your experience so far in this, what you're learning from it, and do you want to make any comments on the session so far before we get into those step-by-step stages? We still have 30-40 minutes to go. It would be really encouraging if we can hear how you are experiencing this session, and what you are learning, and what you are looking forward to.
I can go.
Thanks, Ramya. Go for it.
It's really very informative session, Rakesh, so far. I love the information that Ali has given us, like why you need the financial advisor, or what is important for you. And out of these steps, I'm aiming to get some information about like how you do your homework. Like this first step is really good for me to know, because I'm always there to ask questions when I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like, do I really need to ask this question? But again, I think that's the right thing I'm doing. And I'm eagerly waiting for the step 3, build your A team early. So I need to know, like, if you want to buy a property, it's not only just the real estate agent. You have a lot of other team members who can help you. So I'm just waiting for that information.
Beautiful. Love it. Thanks, Ramesh. So we'll go through this step-by-step phase, and here the focus is purely for you to set up your property portfolio goal and investment strategy. Step number 1, before even getting out in the market and start talking to people, take a pen and paper. Again, go back to basics. Number 1 is work out how much capital do you have, right? Look into your savings account, look into your existing properties, see how much equity is sitting there, or probably, lying in these savings accounts, as well as your owner occupier, and see the capital. That's your starting point, right? Step number, the second action that you can do is, your lifestyle, what your personal household budget is, how much money is coming home, how much money is going out as expenses. Just work out the budget and see how much negative cash flow can you afford without compromising your lifestyle. Is $1,000 a month okay, or is it $500, or is it even if it's okay to spend maybe $2,000, $3,000 a month, right? Have that number really worked out, and sit with your partner, work out the numbers, and have that negative cash flow clearly calculated, and established. Then be clear about what you want to do with this entire investment. Do you want to be hands on? Do you want to be an active investor, where you would want to do probably some development projects in the past, a bit of renovations in the past, or you just want just to be buying a property and letting it grow, yeah, and you peacefully rest at home? That's more of buying and holding it. You're going to be hands off, or you're going to be a passive investor in this journey. These are some of the things you can really work out before really going out in the market and talking to the providers. Step number 1, once this is done, the next step is you should sit with a mortgage broker. And if you do not have a mortgage broker, the registry, you should definitely meet him, talk to him, and then book in a session with Sri. And Sri, I'll let you probably take over the slide and help take us through what your process would be to to set up someone's borrowing power.
Well, and thanks, Rakesh. Yeah, so it entirely depends on individual process, individual stage where they are, individual structure where they are, and what their owner-occupied or what their vision and goals are. So I cover all the 360 degrees depending upon where they want to travel, how they want to travel, whether they wanted to create capital growth, whether they wanted to buy an apartment for cash flow. Depends. It entirely depends on that. I've recently done a trust owner occupied as well. I've never ever done in the last few years, but I've done that. A trust created to buy an owner occupied property. So there you go. So that's everything is entirely depends on how they wanted to structure it, how they wanted to travel, and what a financial planner, an accountant would tell them to do with their structure, with their business, how they wanted to travel from there. So, and we can always tame it. We can the servicing, the borrowing power, the affordability is entirely depends on what they hold and how they wanted to do it. Like interest only could be different, and the principal plus interest could be different, and the trust income is completely different. The directorships is completely different, or if it's PAYG IT contracts is completely different. So it entirely depends on what stage and what level they are at. For as a general, it starts with the personal mindset. As Ali was suggesting, it all depends on where they are, what they wanted to do, and that's where it all starts.
Perfect. So Sri, out of curiosity, probably this is a question someone would have in mind when they're starting. If I need to assess my borrowing capacity, and if I approach you, how much time should I generally estimate to have a clear understanding of my financial position in the property market?
Well, if I have all the information, I would be able to get back to them with a serviceability calculators with at least 3 to 5 lenders within 24 to 48 hours.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's how quick we are. Amazing. That's good.
Yeah.
And once the borrowing capacity, everything are assessed, then the next step is for any investor to understand how to go ahead and what kind of a structure would you want to buy an investment property, right? And this should all, again, coming back to the previous discussion, what Ali was explaining about the personal financial strategy, your property investment strategy should also tie up or roll up to your personal finance, whether to buy it in a personal trust or SMS. Of all those decisions have to be made. I'll again take a pause, let Ali the expert explain how this is done.
Thanks, Rakesh, again. See, it's in the long term and short term. What you wanted to do is there are a couple of things to look at. If you are on a high income or low income, or if you're a businessman, probably first home should actually go on your name, because you don't pay any capital gains tax when you sell that house, as long as you live there for a year or so. But what happens is when you come to these investment properties, it's a bit of a tricky situation, whether you wanted to buy it in your personal name or trust name. If you want the benefit to be seen today, quickly, every financial year, if you wanted to hold the property for capital gains, you can actually put it in your personal name. So if you're on a high income, you can actually get the benefits right away. But if you are not in for like a capital gains taxes or anything, and if you wanted to put it in a trust, then the tax minimization strategy is something which you are looking at. Probably trust is a good option when you sell the property. So it's not like one rule for everybody or any particular situation. It's like, again, your life situation, what is good for you. And the third one is, oh, should we buy the property in SMSF? So when you buy a property in SMSF, if it is an investment, and to start with, you need to make sure you have at least 200,000 in your super, and you are on a good income, and the regular super contributions are going in, and you have at least 15 years to retire. Never buy a land and house in a SMSF. Always make sure you get capital gains out of it. One terrific advantage you have is when you retire after 65 or at 65, when you sell the property, there is no capital gains tax if you buy a property from super. The reason why I'm saying SMSF property is because it's a fantastic vehicle, but if you know how to use it and if you make use of Rakesh services and make sure you buy a property which definitely gives you capital growth in the long term on a regular basis, it's fantastic because if you let us assume if you have a 2 or 300,000 in your super, you can probably leave it in super, which will give you anywhere between 7 to 10%. If you take a little bit more risk based on the returns within the super. But then what happens is if you start a self-managed super fund between you and your partner, there can be like up to 6 trustees within a super or family members, like husband and wife, children, their partners can be 6 people. Earlier it used to be 4 people. What happens is you can accumulate all those supers, start your own self-managed super fund. I can actually start something called Ali Muhammad's self-managed super fund or a family super fund. And I can actually go to bank and use my 300,000. Out of that, I can use 20% as deposit, borrow 800,000 from the bank, and buy a property for $1 million. So what it does is like in the long term, you're not investing your 2 or 300,000, but you're investing $1 million. Repay half of that loan, you'll have like a lot of money left over in your super or the value of the property. And when you sell it, when you retire, when you need the money, you don't pay any capital gains tax. This is just a general advice. It's not like a easy thing. You have to go sit with a financial advisor to take some advice, and then there is somebody else. There is a lot of compliance. It's not as easy as as I tell you. There is a lot of compliance, so you need to be really careful doing these things because you are risking your retirement money. Make sure you get proper advice for doing this stuff. If you need anything, just let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ali. And see, one of the reason why we are, so motivated or committed to do these kind of workshops are there are a lot of information out in the market, right? And you would see a Facebook ad running up where you can just buy unlimited properties through a trust structure, just accumulate multiple properties within a year or two. And it's easy for someone to just get carried away and see that, wow, that's really possible. And then just running behind that road, right? And what's highly recommended is, again, take a step back, understand what the fundamentals or the foundations are, and then stick with the fundamentals. If you're starting your investment journey, don't look at creative ways of doing it. Start with something, to set up your foundation. As Ali said, start with your personal structure, and then as you grow, once you have the risk appetite really really created, you can always look at different ways of expanding your portfolio. Coming on to step number 4. Now you have your mortgage borrowing ready, you have your financial strategy ready. Now it's time for you to build or design your own personal portfolio in your mind. It could just be, just take a pen and paper and write it down. How many properties do you want? At a high level, it's probably it's easy to categorize into 4 different phases. Phase number 1 is you're setting up your foundation, right? In the foundation phase, don't take so much risk. Look for solid cash flow. Look for low risk market. Don't go and buy it in a regional location with probably 10,000 people living in it, right? Limit your risk exposure to as much as possible in the foundation phase, and that's gonna really propel your rest of the phases. Once the foundation is ready, the next couple of properties could be, that's where you are accumulating, right? Faster accumulation based on the equity that you have gotten from the foundation phase. Then consolidate, and then hold it for a longer period and exit. Like ideally, now when I'm talking about property portfolio, think about this way, right? Buy one property every year or buy one property every 2 years. And if you have an aspiration to buy 5 or 6 properties, have next 10 years plan for it. Buy it in the next 10 years, 5 or 6 properties, and then hold it for some time and then exit. And you always need a starting point. And as we, these portfolios or these designs are not fixed. You can change these strategies depending on your life situations and personal finances, but have a starting point when you are getting into this investment journey. Because maybe think about as a chess game. Once you play a move, you need to be mindful about what the next move should be, right? And that gives you better power, but your next move can be different, and that's purely okay, but have some plan in your mind. Now, and the last step, now you have a design in mind. Now this is where you are going to lock in your investment strategy. These 5 points, right? I mean, you need to be very clear about these 5 points before even looking into the suburb or the properties. One is, what is the price point you're looking at? You have talked to the mortgage broker, you have talked to the financial planner, you have assessed all your goals and stuff. This is what I need to buy: 450 to 550 or 500 to 600. Have a range in mind. Don't be confused between a 500,000 property or a $1 million property. You are now clear what my pricing range in this investment would be. Second step is, have a target yield. You know what your cash flow limits are. For example, if you can afford $1,000 comfortably every month, what kind of a target yield you need to have? So yield is nothing but the amount, your rental percentage based on the property value, right? And what kind of a target yield you need to have? Are you going to do an active or a passive approach? What kind of a property or a location category is more inclined to your risk appetite? Are you okay with a regional location, or are you purely focusing on a metro location? The last thing is growth versus yield, right? You need to understand what the balance you are chasing. Are you highly prioritizing yield, or are you okay with a balance, or are you purely focusing on capital growth? Because the capital growth will build wealth for you, but yield will keep you in the game. The moment yield goes back, your lifestyle will be compromised. Shri, I'll welcome your thoughts, just so that this group will be able to finalize this investment strategy and we move forward.
Absolutely. So to start an investment journey or strategy, have a vision and goal in place, have your personal finances in place, have a pre-approval or a conditional approval in place. Speak to a broker who is very honest and transparent, who is very good expert in guiding you how your investment journey should be. If you don't have a vision or a goal, I would strictly advise you to speak to financial planner and then the mortgage broker together, so that they both will get aligned and guide you in the right process, and then seek advice from the real estate property journey, and then we will be able to help you further.
Perfect. Thank you. And I wouldn't spend too much time on it. So, in our internal processes within my buyers agency, we use different strategic tools and accelerators to kind of fast track these processes. Different tools and data subscription tools and templates to set up your personal property portfolio, investment strategy framework, cash flow calculators, and household savings accelerators. Nothing rocket science. I mean, a lot of those tools are still available out in the market, but there is something which we keep researching, renovating, and then improving within our internal space, so that we give the right guidance to our clients. Now, coming on to how you can. I mean, I'm sure most of us are in different phases of the investment journey, and someone who is really, really motivated, or someone who is really ready to buy your next investment journey in this calendar year, right? So we are almost in August 2025, and we have few more months to go in this calendar year. Someone who is really ready and out in the market looking for a house, we have these 3 pathways to follow, right? Number one is, we have this series of workshop series, the series that we are having now. We can continue to have these discussions every bi-weekly or once in a month, to go through each of these steps. And An alternate option is I provide a one-on-one execution program, which I'll talk in length. And third is I also have a full bias agency service where you are like purely outsourcing your services, where we do end-to-end purchases. You and all the heavy lifting will be done from our end, where you take a back step and be the decision maker, right? Where our recommendations, you take a call whether it's right or wrong for you. And the full bias agency service is purely recommended for someone who's very time poor and who wants to have quick results, all of that stuff. We are still priced highly competitively in the market, and you get to work with me personally in that bias agency service. I'll take a step for that because the bias agency services are available in the market. I'll focus on this pathway number 2, which is one-on-one execution program. And this is something which is very unique, which we have custom made for people who wants to take control of their own investment journey. They want to take actions by themselves. They want to learn the process. They want to really experience, the entire purchasing process and, doing all the evaluating different suburbs and evaluating properties. And that's something that we are also driven by sharing the knowledge that we have from our experience. So I provide 12 one-on-one sessions, and where I'll personally take you through this entire process. You take the action. I'll provide you with the right steps, the right tools, and the processes where I'll be an accountability partner for your journey, and you go ahead and buy the investment property by yourself. This is recommended for someone who is really motivated, who are action takers, um, who is also looking for an affordable service or a credible service out in the market. And I'm providing this service at 2,999, and currently this is an early bird pricing, and because this is something which we are launching, and there are very few clients who have entered into this execution program, and my guarantee is I provide 100% refund if you feel that this is not a service that is for you. And we take 5 people every month in this in this program, just to ensure we give the right attention to the people. And during this program, you also have an option to upgrade into the full bias agency service anytime you feel that you are not able to take that actions by yourself. And that's about this. That's on the program, and definitely book in a call with me. I'll explain you more about what you get, or what is that you should be mindful about in joining this program. That's it. And I would really sincerely request if you could give me a poll in terms of you have listened, so far, you have seen what the process is. And from your personal situation, what kind of a pathway do you think would be, better for you? I'll just open up the poll. There are 4 options where you either, this is something if you are learning for you, or, you just want to just sit and learn during these workshops, or you are really motivated. You want to buy an investment property this year, right? You don't have time to waste. Or you want to just outsource this investment to a bias agent, or, you're just not sure, you want more details. And I would also probably add, from my experience over the last 2 years, you will see a significant jump in the prices when a calendar year ends and when the next calendar year starts. So towards 15th of December, after 15th of December, the market would slow down, during the holiday season and all of that stuff, the market activity would come back. It will resume from 15th of Jan after a 1-month break. Because of the calendar year shift, you would naturally see a 10 to 20K minimum jump in the prices on the markets which are really, really hot performing. That is the shift in momentum that I have personally witnessed, and that's a trend that will continue to happen in all the hot markets. And that's my personal recommendation to anyone who is really ready to go ahead and buy the investment property. Do not delay. Time is money in real estate investments. Get in quickly and secure your investment property as early as possible. I will quickly open this poll, and I would like to see what your thoughts are and where you personally see yourself. Commit an action and its launch.
Yeah, while you do that, I just wanted to add, I just received a call after a long time, actually. The gentleman is about 78 years. and I'm doing a loan for him. He owns a commercial property in Oakley, and he wanted to have an investment property. So I'm doing a 1.2 million loan for him as an investment purchase. So guys, that commercial property, what he has in Oakley, is paid up, and I'm using the equity on that property to buy another one for himself. So guys, there is no time or no push from anyone. It's entirely your journey. I mean, one's journey. Don't hurt yourself. Don't overhear all the noise around you. Don't push yourself hard because others are doing it. It is entirely up to you, up to your vision. As Ali and Rakesh was suggesting, I sincerely think that you should not be financially burdened at any point of given stage. If in case you don't have any vision or goals in place, please see an expert. As simple as it is to start with. If you have a vision and goal, let us be part of that, and we would love to help you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sri. We do have the results. There are a couple of people who have raised their hand for one-on-one execution program, and I don't know who they are, but I would I would request if someone can share why would they think that kind of program would help. This program itself is unique. That's something which is which I'm personally very committed to run it for. One is empowering someone who wants to take actions by themselves, and at the same time, handing over that knowledge and what the initial support that is required for getting things done. Can I request someone who has voted for that one-on-one execution program to just share why they think that would help them? I personally don't know who that person is.
Do you want me to jump in?
Go for it. I would have loved to hear from the person who voted for it. There are a couple of people.
I've voted for the one-on-one execution program.
Oh, love it, Hari.
But not necessarily to say that I'm ready to do it now.
Yeah.
But I just like the structure of the program, and I think it would benefit a lot of people.
Yeah.
The idea of having someone sort of guiding you through the process is fantastic. And I think anyone would not want to know the process themselves as well. Obviously, if you go with a full service buyer's agent, they'll do everything, but then it's a black box. It's no one knows what's going on behind the scenes. So you have to be very confident as well in the services of the whereas with the execution program, you sort of know what's happening, you're driving it yourself. So that's the one that I would be most comfortable with, to be honest.
I love that, Hari, and honestly, that's exactly what one of the driving force for us to launch the service as part of our business. Because many a times we have seen our clients coming back and say, they want to buy 5, 6, or 7 investment properties, and every single time they would want to acquire that knowledge by themselves. They just don't want to be completely blind for in terms of acquiring that skill in this long journey. And so that's number one. Second is, yes, the buyer's agency market in Australia is also growing at a pace where the quality of services is a bit difficult to be optimized. You have different variations in which the quality of services are delivered. So there is always that ambiguity in people. What do I get back, right? What do I get, or is this a right property, or is this the right approach for you? And this program would also help you understand this is what you are doing, right? And then it's something that personally you can assess and identify, are you getting the best value in terms of getting a service provider, or getting yourself exposed to the investment property and get themselves started. And last thing is the biggest goal is someone who is ready in the market should be able to take an action quickly rather than second guessing or being confused about to go what to do next, or just getting lost in the noise. So that's the intent in which this program has been launched. And so thank you for sharing that, Hari.
And me as well, just to let you know, guys. I just choose the one-to-one execution program as well.
Thank you, Amrit, for sharing that.
Just to let you know, yeah, pretty much for, again, similar responses, just learning when they have a bit of support while you start the journey. And of course, things they can change later on a track. I don't know, maybe will come with more confidence while we start with the first, second property. But I think, I would like to get a support and a one-to-one discussion.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. So we'll catch up soon. Now, quickly, I think we have 10 minutes more into the discussion, just in terms of winding down. See, what if you keep waiting? I mean, nothing is going to change. Market will keep running ahead of the saving, right? And it's just that as an individual, you would miss out on an opportunity of compounding growth and manufacturing equity, all those sort of stuff. And this is again not to create a FOMO or an anxiety in people's mind, but this is what would happen, and we need to be mindful of it, and we have to be okay with that happening. And whenever we are ready, individually, when a person is ready, they should be in a position to take a quick action and move forward. We can talk about all strategy, mindset, process, and bloody whatnot, everything, but only the actions would translate into the results, and you would see only the results of your actions. What if you start now, right? You would accelerate your portfolio, whatever deposit you have, and you will also learn skills that would help you multiply your future purchases. And as we all know, real estate is, the best time to buy was yesterday. The second best time to buy is today. That's it. And the next slide, the last thing, and sorry, I'll just skip that poll. That would be redundancy. And I strongly encourage all of you. I mean, all of you are in different phases of your property investment journey. We are very passionately running a Facebook group, and that's a property investment circle. And we are a team of people, and you are going to get options over there, right? So there will be multiple buyers agents in that group. There will be multiple mortgage brokers. There will be multiple financial planners. You are going to get every single the service provider who will guide you through this process. So if you could scan this QR code and join the Facebook group and be part of our community, what you will get is, one is you will get free guidance and insights. Any question, anytime in your property journey, feel free to ask that question in the group, and we'll ensure you will be guided correctly. And you will also get mindset training, because some point in time, there could be moments where you would feel low or you would feel anxious. We will share insights which should keep you, pumped and on top of your game, so that, we are not worried about what's happening outside, and we are just on top of our game all the time. You will also get to see real life experiences. You will get queries answered from the credible professionals. And this is my personal guarantee that this group is well administered, and there will not be time pass or no fluff, or there will not be a lot of crap going in that Facebook group, is something which I can personally guarantee. There'll only be value. So I would sincerely request, join the Facebook group, be part of this journey, and drop in a review if you can, how you experienced today's event or today's workshop. And that review could be what you learned from this event, or it could just be what you feel about it, or even if you have a feedback, right? Okay, there were a lot of content, or it could be simplified. Any open feedback we are happy to hear, and that will help us tailor our workshop for the next session. I'll just leave it a minute so that people get a chance to join this, and I'm sure there would be those requests coming in that group. I will accept them.
Sorry, Rakesh.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for everybody join this. I just want to ask you a question. What we're
Sure.
gonna learn from you guys from this method is like just applicable in Australian market, or there are any other? So of course we're here in Australia, but then thinking in other market as well, or is mainly for Australia, or
So this workshop series that we are running will be purely focused on to residential real estate investments in Australia. That's the focus of this workshop series. But going forward, depending on what people would like to hear more about us, depending on the audience interest, we would be open towards bringing in more and more experts who can give a broader picture, whether it is a commercial investment or whether it be more of development opportunities, all of those stuff. But as of now, the focus is on residential real estate investment in Australia.
thanks.
Great. Thank you. And I have accepted a few invites. Thank you everyone for joining. But please leave us a review, and this would definitely help us tailor our events and the content for the next workshop series. Just to summarize, so the next event, we will let you know of the date, and it would probably be from 3 to 4 weeks from now. We'll finalize the date. There would be more people coming in, and so you could like all of you have attended this webinar could definitely start 30 minutes late so that you can skip the first 30 minutes. So I'll let you know what session you would have to start. So next session will be more focused around how can you leverage some of the data points, those are publicly available, and identify those high capital growth markets. You will be surprised, there are suburbs in Melbourne which are growing at 15+% over the last 1 year. And the overall media is still talking about Melbourne as something which is growing at 5-6% at a totality. We are talking about suburbs within the market, right? There are pockets which are growing 15+, and from the last 1 year or so. Now, how do you pick such suburbs from the bigger Melbourne metro? How do you pick some good regional towns and good suburbs from these regional towns which are growing at a rate where you would want your money to grow? And how can you use some of these data points, which are vacancy rate, days on market, stock on market, income, infrastructure, all of those stuff to feed into your decisions? That's exactly what we'll be covering on the next session. Lastly, thank you. I'll also let Shri and Ali conclude. But these 3 QR codes, you will get access to each of our calendars separately. Whomever you want to connect with, scan the QR code, book in your time. We would all like to talk and interact with you, have that connection with you to understand where you are in your investment journey or in your financial journey. So make use of this time to scan your QR code and book in time with each of us. I'll leave it to Sri and Ali as well to conclude the session.
Go ahead, Ali.
Thank you so much, Sri. I was waiting for you to start. So yeah, see, what I would say is like it's really necessary. Think about yourself and your goals and your journey, and make sure why you are here and what legacy you wanted to leave. But if you wanted to have a chat, if you have any questions, please feel free to scan or reach out to me. And I'm happy to do an online session or a in-person session with you for 45 minutes without any obligation, and make sure I answer all the questions there. Then if you like it, if you wanted to go ahead and do stuff, then we'll talk about fees and stuff. Otherwise, this 45 minutes will be absolutely free. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rakesh and Ali, to have me here. And guys, thank you so much for listening to all of us. It's fantastic to create this kind of a platform wherein we can all share, learn, and we all can grow our financial abilities to what we are yesterday to create that legacy in the future and have that financial freedom, have a strong financial growth for all of us by learning. I just wanted to finish this saying it all starts within. It all starts from where we are right now and what decisions are we going to take right now for our better financial future. So that's that. Having said that, once you're ready, please approach us, approach me. If in case you need any serviceability, any restructure to be done, and any borrowing capacity to be checked, I'm a platinum broker for Westpac. I'm premium broker for most of the banks. I'm more than happy to help and support you guys with your investment portfolio, with your first home purchase, wherever you are. More than happy to help and support. And we've got wonderful financial planner here, who's my mentor as well, my brother as well, who amazingly helped the community to build strong. And I've got an amazing buyer's advocate who's teaching property investments to the people, Rakesh here. It's amazing to be on this platform. Thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to help you all.
Thank you, everyone. All the contact details will be shared right after this event. And thank you, everyone, for joining. I know some of my friends have joined purely to support. I don't want to take names, but thank you. Super grateful for the support, and those who have joined to really learn and then grow. Really grateful for to be part. I mean, to be a small part in this journey. Looking forward to see you on the next call. Next workshop, we will let you know of the time. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
You want to take a quick picture, Rakesh?
Oh wow.
Let's go on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Picture. Let's do that. And how do we take a picture? Can I just take a screenshot? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we got wonderful guests as well.
So,
What are we doing? Are we doing any like poses, action? So like
Ask
what are we doing?
the little one. Ask the little one.
The little one.
Good one. Like one always. Go for it.
Is the love heart?
Do it. Yeah, let's do that. Love.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm gonna click a picture in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Thank
Oh my
you.
God.
Grazie. Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care. Bye.